I can hear you.
Melissa, it's Mike and I. You can hear us?
Yes. How are y'all?
Excellent.
Happy New Year, Melissa.
Thanks, Peter. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, tell your partner, Laurie and Emma, they will give you a surprise. But if you want a heads up, call us after the meeting.
Okay. Will do. Did y'all have a good New Year's?
Man, how about yourself?
It was all right. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
That's it.
Yeah, I just want to speak on this 10 minutes.
Hi, Jim.
Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year, Mike.
Hey, Will.
Hey, Melissa.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. Brand new year.
Another year for opportunities to improve.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I see we have 1:30. So we can get this underway. And with that, I'll start out by stating that this is the January 12th, 2022 virtual CTST meeting. And it is 1:30 by my clock. So we'll start with welcome and introductions. I'll ask Melissa to do a rundown of the attendees.
Yep. Everybody, I'm Melissa with JMT. And we have Laura Anstead on the line. She's on. Jim McLean.
Present.
All right, Mike Zinn.
Mike Zinn, Department of Transportation, Traffic Ops, District 7.
All right, does George and everybody else want to welcome themselves also, introduce themselves?
Yeah, it's George Edmiston. Yeah, I'm here with Mike.
All right. Paul Booth. All right, well, we can see Paul.
I see Paul.
I know. I don't hear Paul. All right, we'll come back.
Okay.
Ferreira, Colonel Ferreira. Doesn't look like they have sound, but maybe they can hear us. Casey?
Casey Gegenhart with the Hernando Citrus MPO.
Wow. All right, Harry?
Harry Vandenberg from Floral City.
Thank you. Todd Crosby?
Todd Crosby, Hernando County.
Okay.
Todd, very difficult hearing you.
Okay.
Sherry Cook? Well, Sherry is on the line. All right, Walt?
Walt Eastman, Citrus County Engineering.
All right, Janice Martinez?
Janice Martinez, Law Enforcement Liaison for DOT, District 7.
David Carr?
Dave Carr, out in Ridge Manor, Eastern Hernando County.
Thank you. Michelle Snow?
Michelle Snow, Signal 4 Analytics, University of Florida.
Thank you. Bev Howard?
Bev Howard, Citrus County.
Thank you. And last but not least, Julie Bond?
Hello, everyone. Julie Bond, Center for Urban Transportation Research.
All right, awesome.
All right.
Is there anyone else on the line that we did not call out your name? All right, and just to make a note, this meeting is being recorded, and if you are not speaking, please have your mic muted just so there's no interference. Thank you.
And I did just see a note that Colonel Ferrer just left the meeting, just as an FYI. All right, well, thank you all for attending, and we'll get underway. Let's move on to item number 2, which is review and approval of the December 2021 minutes. Do we have any comments about the minutes? Hearing none, if I can get a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve them.
Thank you, Jim. And
Second, Bev Howard.
thank you, Bev, for a second. And I'm going to assume all in favor unless anyone speaks and opposed. Hearing no one opposed, we will move on. Thank you for approving the minutes. Okay, old business. We will move on to the problem location sheet for old business. All right, starting with number 1, Powell at Silver Ridge. I see Todd is on. I don't know if Todd has an update for us.
Yeah, we're still working on in-house redesign. We're looking at Powell, resurfacing that road and opening that intersection back up to a full median. But it's still in preliminary design.
Okay. So, Todd, just a question for you. Since this is kind of underway, do you feel we still need to track this?
Well, this is my second meeting with you guys, so I don't know how long you keep it on your list, but it's on our radar.
Yeah, well, normally if it's a longer design project and things like that, I don't know that we need to track it all the way through design and construction. Knowing that it's with Hernando County, it's in progress. I would think if it's of issue, it will come up again if warranted. Otherwise, we know it's with Hernando County Engineering.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. All right, very good. So then we'll mark that, Melissa, that it's with Hernando County Public Works for implementation, and it'll be removed next time. Okay, and Todd, you have anything for us on number 2?
No, we're still monitoring that intersection.
Okay. Sorry, I just had set my phone for not disturb so I don't get calls. Okay, since that one's still being evaluated, we'll continue to track that one then?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, 41-491, same thing. We'll continue to track. Number 4, Coronado Drive, J.D. Floyd.
Yeah, we're still waiting. I haven't received anything. And Ernie hadn't brought me anything as far as from what the consultant.
Okay, so we'll just track that one as well.
Right.
Number 5, Good Neighbor Trail stop signs.
I have to check with Ernie on that one. I don't think we've done anything so far.
Okay, no update on that one. Number 6, with the Coochie State Trail and Independence Highway crossing. So this is one that I thought Jim had done a summary on that.
So he updated the information in here. Walt.
Okay.
So some of this information was deleted, edited. So I just need to know if you guys want to kind of get rid of this from showing up every single meeting and just have
The current status.
yeah. So this is kind of up
If I may, I can update the situation up there. In December, I went up there and timed the walk signal. It's 8 seconds. Then there's an 18-second countdown. When the walk indicator goes off and the countdown starts, the northbound and southbound US 41 traffic is permitted to make respective turns onto Independence Highway. I walked across the Indianapolis intersection at a normal pace and was able to accomplish that within the 8 seconds. If the crosswalk is not activated, the US 41 traffic has normal signal timing. Right turns are permitted. Northbound left turn signal goes into a yellow flash mode. And the wait time for a trail user may vary due to the signal phase when they activate the walk signals.
Okay.
I did that on a couple of occasions, and sometimes I had to wait 45 seconds. Another time it was longer than that, almost a minute and a half.
For the signal to cycle through.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we talked about at the last meeting about having CCSO bring the signboards up there.
Yep.
And to warn, to activate the lights for users.
Correct.
And Laura's going to have those up there sometime in the near future.
Very good.
I thought maybe she'd have them up there by now, but I think they're probably over at the Manatee Festival. Also, I think we need to add a sign for the southbound, a permanent sign for the southbound trail users. There's one for the northbound, but we ought to put one permanent one for the southbound trail users. That's pretty much it that I found. Supplemental signs could be put on those existing posts, but I'm not sure they'll be necessary because the buttons have arrows that point across Independence, and that will cause a confusion for some people that if we were to rotate the signs.
Well, yeah.
I think they're all right the way they are. And that's pretty much my synopsis of that intersection.
This is Harry.
Yes, Harry.
Okay, so I'm the one that brought this problem up to the CTST meeting, whenever that was, well over a year ago. The problem is very simple here. The issue is that back in, let's see, this was December of 14, I started working on this thing. In early January 15, I met with 3 FDOT engineers on site. We discussed the plans they had. They agreed with me that separating the users, the motorists, from the trail users in time was a feasible way of protecting the trail users. They warned me that their bosses might not agree, and here we are, how many years later, their bosses have managed to sabotage this whole process. Twice I have been promised in writing that they would implement what I call the protected green crossing. As of today, this still has not been done. All of the signs, all the stuff that you guys are trying to work on is nothing but trying to work, deal with the issue that the district has not implemented what it promised me it would. So why is there not an update on the status of a new controller that was supposed to have been ordered? Does somebody have an update on that?
I do not. I don't know if Mike does.
No, I haven't gotten any information back on anything that's been ordered. I can check with Peter and with Signals over there to see what's going on. I have not been updated on any part of this last part of this, what's going on with this individual here. Peter assigned Ginger and everybody else to get involved with this, and so I've not really paid much attention to this intersection. I do monitor the crash statistics. I have not seen any crash statistics in any direction for cars or pedestrians or bicycles.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like we have a crash issue then, which is good.
No, there's not been any crash issues there.
So the district secretary, Mr. Gwen, I don't know his first name, is the person who promised me in writing that a new controller would be ordered. This was discussed in this meeting. It's in the minutes. This is nothing new. Mike, you were going to work on this for me. You were going to be a key, stay in contact. If nothing has been ordered, somebody's lying here. The problem is we need to separate the users, the conflicting users. And, I've been told by the engineers that's doable. I was promised twice they would do it by installing the controllers. So all these signs, if no motorist is allowed to cross the trail while the trail has green, and the trail is not allowed to cross Independence when the trail has red, there is no conflict. We don't need all kinds of signs telling motorists to watch out for trail users who might be in the crosswalk when they're not supposed to be in the crosswalk. We don't need trail users having to look over their shoulders, trying to guess if motorists are going to violate their right of way, because the motorists are all supposed to be prevented legally from crossing there. So I don't understand why we keep dithering around with this thing month after month, year after year. The solution is very simple. And I don't know who else to address. Do I need to go to the FDOT secretary up in Tallahassee over this thing? Please, somebody help me out on this thing, because just because nobody's been killed here doesn't mean that it's a safe situation.
Mike, I seem to remember quite a while ago, the Brooksville maintenance office was looking at doing that controller modification. I don't know if it was ever done. I know that there's been some changeover in that office, and is it Tyler?
What they were, I think what you're referring to is the LPIs that we did all over the district.
No, this was specific to crossing. In
all directions.
Yeah, no, this was specific for this intersection, Mike. And I'm trying to remember the woman's name that was the ops manager there in Brooksville.
Oh, years ago, that was Joanna Guthrie.
Joanna Guthrie. She was involved. I remember her talking about swapping out controllers and had trouble getting it. I'm just wondering, A, was that ever done? And B, since there's been some changeover, is it Tyler that's the ops manager now? Ops director?
Tyler, yes.
Would it be advisable to, if you talk with him, to see if he can look into that?
Yeah, I can have him look into it, but if I remember, I'll check with Peter. Peter seemed to be the one that knew the status of the controllers were ordered. So okay. I will check with Peter later today when I see him, or tomorrow.
Okay.
This is Harry. So I just found the email that this is dated July 7th of last year. This is from David Gwen, District 7 Secretary. And I quote, "I checked with our team and they will be implementing the scenario that you outlined. Unfortunately, the existing signal controller is not capable of running it, so we are waiting on a replacement controller. Due to worldwide chip shortages, this may take up to 3 months. End quote.
I think unfortunately, we still keep reading about a chip shortage to this day. So I don't know if that's still an issue for that particular product. I know for a fact I've got something that's been on order personal, something for me over a year, and it's because of a chip problem. I haven't got it yet. So I didn't think at that time Secretary Gwynn realized that the chip problem was going to go on for over a year.
So is this, who needs to check up on this? Is this going to be back to my responsibility to follow up?
You didn't listen, I guess. I said I will follow up on this and let Peter know about this problem that Secretary Gwynn promised. I said that about 4 or 5 minutes ago. And I think that brings us.
You may have to forgive me. I've heard so many promises that have been broken. I can't keep track of this, but I will expect to hear from you next month.
It's not a promise, Harry. I'm just telling you what I am going to do. I'm not promising anything. Hell, I could drop dead tomorrow afternoon. Who knows? But I will follow up on what I just said. And that brings us to the end of this number 7 or 6.
No, this does not bring us to the end of this number 6, because there's a separate issue here, and that is a plan to discuss what the district is going to do after having spent all these years teaching trail users that pushing the button doesn't do a thing. The trail users are not going to know if the new controller is eventually implemented, put in, and the scheme that I've been promised would be adopted. Trail users are not going to know that. They're still going to disregard those buttons because they have no reason to push them. In fact, I just talked with a gentleman yesterday who rides the trail regularly. He moved here from Texas 2 years ago. He asked me why there's 2 push buttons at Independence. I tried to explain to him why they are there. He said, I pushed them. He says, half the time they don't do anything. He said, I don't pay attention to them anymore. I just look for traffic and I go. There's probably, I'm going to guess 80%, 90% of the trail users do the same thing. So we need to figure out how are we going to convince trail users that it is in their interest to push the buttons once the new controller is in place. This is something I've been talking about for how many months now?
Well,
this is the second part.
Let's take it one step at a time, Harry. Let's figure out where the controller is and what the status of that is. We can take the next step later on. We'll do it in bites. We'll do it in bites.
Okay.
Okay, number 7. Good Neighbor Trail, Prescott Road.
Okay. I'll have an update on this one yet.
Okay, we'll continue to monitor. Number 8, 41 Croom.
Yes, I'll get with our new Assistant Public Works Director, see what's on the schedule in order to fix these shoulders. We've had a lot of moving around over here, so it's still it's a work in progress.
Okay.
Well, I can help you out on that a little bit. Your crews have been out there fixing the shoulders. They just been filling them in. It looks like something, I don't know, but they have been fixing the drops.
Okay.
Well, that's good. At least they're taking care of the drop-off issues. Okay. Well, then, Mike, will that address this item if they're out there addressing the drop-offs?
Yeah, I would say that. It may be done by today, I think. When I came through there at 4 o'clock this morning, it looked like they only had maybe another 50 feet or so to finish up. So probably when I go home today, it'll look like it'll be done.
Okay. So we can put an item on here that says Hernando County has addressed drop-off issues, and this item is closed and will be removed next time.
Yeah, let me check with, like I said, we just got a new Public Works Assistant Director, and make sure that there's no other spots he's still working on except for those obvious ones that they were already marked.
Yeah, it'll still be on here. Well, it'll still be on the list for next month, Todd. We're just gonna, if it looks complete, we'll pull it off.
Okay.
Okay, you got it, Melissa? No?
Do you want me to put a date complete, or just let that ride till next time?
No. Just I would put it on there that Hernando County has been addressing drop-off issues.
Yep.
And which resolves this tracking item, and it will be removed next time.
Okay.
And like Mike said, if it's not, if there's something else, we can always modify it then. But otherwise, if it's addressed, then we can take it off.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, number 9. Construction on 50 I-75 to 301. Last item on here was there's no update, but Mike had made a mention that the issue is still being addressed and is under review.
This is at the fire station. Last I heard that they were going to cut that wall down or remove it. I was through there not too long ago, and I think it's still in place. So,
Todd, you want to check with Zach on that so we have a better update on that by the next meeting?
yeah, because I'm actually sending him an email right now concerning the solid waste recycle station. There was some issues going on out there also.
Okay.
There are definitely some issues at the solid waste station. This is Dave Carr. There's some issues everywhere out through that area, and I've got a few new items to add when we get to that.
Okay, you good on that one, Melissa? Yep, okay. Number 10, 19 and Cardinal. Let's see, Mike and Julie said they would coordinate with CCSO regarding utilizing message boards for that location. It sounds like the message boards have been tied up pretty well, so I don't know if they've gotten to this just yet.
Good morning, or actually good afternoon. It's Sergeant Anstead with CCSO. So our message boards are currently tied up. I had communicated with Jim to get them out there this week. However, we're experiencing an influx with our traffic issues. So they're currently occupied. They are on my list as a priority to get them out there as soon as possible. So I have not forgotten about it. I am working on it. We just have to hit the priorities as they kind of arise to help eliminate some of these traffic issues.
Agree, absolutely. Okay, and I understand that you were able to get them out on 491 near Black Diamond. Is that correct?
That is actually their next set place. They will be going out to address the Black Diamond issue this afternoon. That's where I'm headed after we finish up with this meeting. So yes, sir, those will be out there. It's my intent to leave them out there for about 2 weeks.
You're awesome.
I try.
Excellent. Well, that took care of item number 11 as well. So 11, we can go ahead and make a note on that. Melissa saying that CCSO will be installing the message boards, and this can be removed from our tracking at the next meeting. For number 10, we'll just leave it basically as is, and we'll keep that one on there till next time. Okay.
You know, on number 10, I communicated with Lieutenant Ball with the traffic unit up there, and they, like we said, they're anxious to get it going. So we're just sitting on a green light, ready to put geofence out there and get it going.
Very good. All right. With that, I think it wraps up the old business. So we can move on to calendar updates and activity reports. Any calendar items or activity reports?
link, while I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay, no trouble. Like,
Hey, Walt, this is Janice, the LEL.
hey, Janice.
Hey, so we did just finish up drives over or get pulled over for the holiday season. So we are in the process of collecting data for that to submit it to Washington. In addition, we are in concept paper writing season right now. I did send Melissa. Are you able to pull that up?
Yep, I'm opening my emails right now. That's why I took it down
Okay.
for 1 second. It was on.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So we did just get last Monday, we got the latest and greatest highway safety matrix that's associated with our 2022-23 grant cycle. And it's not fantastic news for our West Central team. We are top 25 in quite a few areas. I sent Melissa a link. She's trying to open it up now for our matrix. So working with our law enforcement partners, I know Citrus County last year had a motorcycle grant. Hopefully we put in for it again this year, and all other kinds of speed and DUI related things. So that is on my calendar for this month, and next month is to work with all of our agencies to get them funding as they need it.
Very good.
I'll be able to pull it up in the next meeting. My computer just took a you know what? Give me 1 second. It'll pop up.
Okay. And any other calendar updates while Melissa's working on that? Any other updates for the group?
Hey, Julie, are you going to share ours? Because I have another meeting going on in my office.
Oops. Ginger, which updates did you want me to share?
About the schools and the upcoming bike rides that are going to be going on.
Okay, sure. So for the high school program, that is still going strong in your county, and Christian is attending the schools. I don't have the list in front of me, but we are scheduled to go to several schools in your area. And then also we have the Love to Ride March Challenge, which will be for all the 5 counties in District 7. So that includes your county. And I'm working to get all the links set up right now for that, but that will be a district-wide bike challenge for Florida Bike Month. So we hope to get everyone set up. It's a business challenge, so agency challenge, and everyone can sign up their agency and log their bike rides during March. It helps us to see where people are riding because you can connect to different apps you're using. And we have over 2,000 people right now riding on this platform. So we're looking to get at least 1,000 more over the month. So if you have any questions and want to get your agency signed up to compete, that would be really great. Just email me and let me know, and then we'll be getting that out to you.
All right. Any other activity reports?
Got calendar updates. January, the whole month of January through the February 28th, both months, it's Move Over Florida month. DOT has put together a PSA, which will be released real soon here on that. Vision Zero campaign alert days this month on the 31st. Drive safety education for safe mobility for life. That's for years. It's January 1st through the 31st. And that's it besides the various meetings elsewhere. That's all I got on those. Well,
all right. Thank you, Mike. Anyone else in the group with an update? Bev, anything in your end? Anything you want to share with the group? Okay. All right, then we will move on to item number 5, safe routes to school. I'll just again chime in on the 2 projects that the DOT's managing and implementing on our behalf, Turkey Oak and Forest Ridge sidewalks, and they're progressing very well. Haven't heard any kind of issues with the public. It's a bit disruptive on on some of the roadways where they have lanes shut down, but otherwise it's progressing very well. That's all I have on SRTS. Okay, and we'll move on to number 6, new business.
This is Dave Carr.
Hey, Dave.
I'd like to add to our list on Highway 50. I realize that, this is still under construction out here, and there are probably going to be numerous changes before it's over with. But visually, there seems to be a problem with rise overrun on some sidewalks out here. Also, the bridge deck, the newly poured bridge deck going eastbound out there is so rough that you don't dare have a cup of coffee in your vehicle while you're trying to go over the bridge. Also, for the county, I was out the other day at Mariner and Northcliffe. There needs to be some guide skips in that intersection as you turn from Northcliffe going north on to Mariner. It is a dual left, and there are no guide skips for that in that intersection. So some guide skips need to be placed there.
Okay, and for that one, I guess, Mike, we'll assign that one to you.
Well, the Mariner and Northcliffe one should be assigned to whoever the person is for Hernando County.
That would be Todd.
Okay.
So that's actually 2 items then, I guess, from what I'm hearing.
The bridge deck is the Pepper Construction. That would be DOT.
You said you were sending it to Zach. Can you mention those couple items that Dave mentioned? We'll go ahead and put them on the tracking chart, but in your email to Zach, can you go ahead and mention those to Zach as well?
Okay.
Thanks.
The perceived rise overrun on sidewalks and what have you out here are primarily between US 98 cutoff and the Withlacoochee River Bridge. There are some pretty good runs that are pretty steep incline out there. And there may in fact be nothing, maybe no issue. It's just that visually it does look suspect. And that would be an ADA issue.
Dave, do you have some time next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday? And if I can set up a time with Zach and CI, maybe we can all meet out there and try to see what's going on specifically.
Yeah, sure. I would much prefer if you and I could meet together with a smart level real quick before we troubled Zach, because I'm sure he has a lot on his plate.
I can do that.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get with you on it on Monday or so and let you know.
Okay, that sounds great.
Thanks.
And as I said, I realize it's still under construction and there'll be a lot of changes between now and the time it's completed. But if there are issues, now is the time to fix them while they're under construction.
Okay, so that'll be assigned to Mike and Todd.
Hey, Mike, if you do set up a field visit with Zach, include me in on that.
Yeah, if we do one with Zach, Dave and I will go out there first and do some preliminaries to make sure it's not an optical illusion or something. I've driven through there, and Dave mentioned this to me some time ago, and to me, it could be an optical illusion. We're not sure. It's just when you drive through there, it looks like it's bad.
And while we're out there, Mike, let's also look at the entrance to the landfill.
Yeah, we can do that, Dave. We'll take a look at. We'll just do a ride through the whole project, you and I.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Hey, Dave, can I just confirm the names of these 2 projects, correct? That you want added?
I'm sorry.
The names of the projects that you want added to the problem location sheet?
Well, one is the State Road 50 widening on the east end of Hernando County.
Okay.
And the other is something totally separate, which is on the opposite end of the county at North Cliff and Mariner.
Are you saying North Cliff?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
It's
Thank
one
you.
word.
Okay, thank you.
This is Sherry Cook. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I only have one for this week, and it was the intersection of Elkham and Hampshire. I've got the map up. I don't know if I'm able to share my screen or not. It looks like there are stop signs on the Hampshire side and not on the Elkham side. So, I mean, it looks like a normal intersection. I was not able to pull up Signal 4 Analytics to look at the crashes today on that. But I did get a complaint that it was a bad intersection. They even suggested a roundabout.
Yeah, that's not new, Sherry. I've talked with those folks. I've already pulled the crash report through Signal 4 a while ago. We actually did supplementary signs for stop ahead. I'm trying to think. At one point, we talked about possibly doing lane markings. I don't know if road maintenance actually went that far to do that, but we're aware. There have been some crashes in the intersection, and we've been doing progressively iterative improvements at that intersection. I haven't heard if there's been any other crashes since we made those other improvements, though.
Okay, I haven't either. I just got this late last week, so.
Yeah, they wanted us to make it they wanted us to make it a 4-way stop, but it doesn't warrant a 4-way stop. They wanted a roundabout, but there again, there's just not the crash history wasn't that great. And then, like I said, we did make some iterative improvements that we're hoping fix the problem. And if it doesn't, and if there are other crashes that occur, then we'll go to the next step, which will be pavement markings and then possibly link flags. So there's other steps to take.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, but I'm already aware of it, and we've been working on it. We worked on it a while ago, but nothing new that I'm aware of has come up as far as crashes.
Great, thanks.
Hey, Walt, do you want me to add that to the location list or just add it in the minutes?
I would just add it in the minutes.
Okay.
If there winds up, like I said, if there winds up being a crash issue where we have to do something, then I'll create something. But
okay.
Otherwise, we're monitoring it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Any other new business?
This is Harry.
Hey, Harry.
I was not at the meeting last month, but in the minutes under the last month's new business, I will just read here from the minutes. Kevin from the city of Crystal River mentioned the need for an RFB at the Crosstown Trail where it crosses US 19. The group discussed first reducing speed before looking at the RFB. I don't, because I wasn't there, I don't have any idea how the discussion went, but I would like to maybe have somebody explain why the group felt that reducing speed would make that area safer for trail users.
I can't explain to Harry, but I can tell you I was in a meeting this morning, and I guess there's some other issues now with RFBs once again. I don't know what all's going on with the federal, state, or implementation thereof, or criteria therefore. I don't know all that's going on. It was just like a side discussion, but from what I'm hearing, there's again ongoing issues with implementation of RFBs. So how that plays into this issue on 19 and that trail crossing, I don't know if it does or doesn't.
Okay. but so the group recommended, first reducing speed on a major highway like that. I don't understand how that would be accomplished in the first place, but maybe the group had some ideas as to how that would be accomplished.
If this is Casey, I'm guessing if the problem is people are speeding through there, there could be more enforcement on the police end. I'm guessing the real question is what steps can we implement or recommend be implemented to reduce speed?
I don't know that you can on a US 19 highway.
Yeah.
But I'll defer to DOT on that.
Okay, so it sounds to me like there was not really any specific recommendation to whoever requested an RFB there, other than really do nothing, correct?
I'm not an engineer, Harry, and I know for a fact that it's 45 miles an hour. DOT will not put a RRFB on a 45 mile an hour 4-lane highway. It would need to become a full-blown signal. Now, whether it warrants that or not, I don't know if it ever went that far. But I do know that's some of the policy with RRFBs with the state currently. And like Walt mentioned earlier, there is some issues going on right now with RRFBs again.
Well, the issue with RFBs may, I have no idea what that is either, but at this point, I think that's kind of beside the point. Melissa, would you be willing to bring up that first graphic that I had sent to you, please? Thank you. So last fall, FDOT released its coast-to-coast crossings trail control assessment. This was a major project. And because this report reflects the department's latest recommendations for trail crossings, it seems to me it would be appropriate for the team to see what it has to say about this trail crossing. So just to, I'm not familiar with that area, but I did look at the Google Street View. The speed limit, I believe there is 40 miles an hour. The ADT is about 24,000. The crossing distance is about 75 feet. It is 4-lane highway with a two-way center turn lane. There is no marked crosswalk there. So because there is no marked crosswalk there, motorists here have the right of way. Trail users are required by law to yield to the motorist. So while the motorists, may not hit the trail user that's trying to cross there, they're not required by law to anticipate that trail users are going to try to cross there. So the chance of finding a gap there is probably 0. So that's just a little background to the next couple of graphics that I would like to discuss. So this coast-to-coast crossings trail assessments methodology, according to the report, is, quote, consistent with a crossing treatment methodology prepared by Sprinkle Consulting for Forward Pinellas in 2010 and revised in 2014. Forward Pinellas's methodology requires roadway volume, trail volume, and speed limit to assign the priority of movement and type of trail crossing strategy, or traffic control strategy, right, end quote. So the coast-to-coast assessment, it's not only consistent with the Sprinkle report, it is actually based on it. I've had some discussions with the project manager about this, and so that's pretty clear. That report was essentially authored by Pinellas and FDOT officials in 2007, has been revised at least twice. Just as an aside, it's a very interesting insight. I have copies of 2 of the revisions. But so the graphic here is just the front pages from the Coast to Coast Trail Crossing Report and the one from the Sprinkle Report. So if we could have the second graphic, please. So this one, so the Sprinkle Report's recommendations are summarized in a series of tables. They divide the trail crossings into different categories based on various characteristics of the roadway. And then it recommends one of 3 traffic control device packages. So table 7 is shown here, includes the characteristics of US 19 where the crosstown trail crosses it because it exceeds 12,000 vehicles per day, has 4 lanes of traffic, it has a median, and a speed limit of 40 miles an hour. So as shown in the first column, the recommendation from this Sprinkle report is the RRFB package. So if we could look at the last graphic, please. So this table 4 is from the Sprinkle report, and the latest FDOT recommendations incorporate this into it. So it shows that the RFB package, it calls it an activated signs, which calls for various trail control devices, including a mid-block crosswalk, RRFBs, and other signage and markings. So contrary, Mike, to what you had said there about FDOT's requirements or so, the latest report from FDOT states RFBs as being the proper treatment at this type of crossing, including the other signs and markings that we see here. So my request is that the department implement what it has recommended in this coast-to-coast trail crossing at this particular place in Crystal River.
What report are you reading from here? Is that an FDOT report?
So the first, well, there's 2 reports here. The first one is the coast-to-coast trail crossings. This was released in fall of last year, of 21. This looked at about, I think it was 300 or so crossings in Pinellas, Hernando, and I think one other county. The team worked on various recommendations, and so, but most of it was based on this report from the Sprinkle Consulting back in 2014. But I do believe they released a new one that Pinellas County has accepted. So that's the report that I am taking this information from.
But that was done by Sprinkle Consultants. That's not an FDOT, because even in the U.S. Federal highway recommendations, anything over 40 miles an hour is not recommended with a RRFB, especially on a 4-lane road.
Well, I'm sorry, but that conflicts with the report. You can look the report up yourself. It's a rather, the coast-to-coast crossing report is a pretty weighty document, but you can look in there and they make numerous recommendations for RRFBs where they are not presently installed. They make absolutely no recommendations anywhere for removing any of the existing RRFBs. So this report, which was released by FDOT itself, listen, maybe we could go back to the first slide there.
And Harry, that report goes back to 2014. Like I was just saying, as of this morning, I had heard, the meeting wasn't even about this, but it was a side comment that as of this morning, there's issues between Federal Highway, the state, RFBs, how they're going to be implemented, the TEM manual for doing the warrant. I don't know what's happened with it again, but for whatever has happened, it's kind of once again blown up. So I don't know what's going to come out of it, quite frankly.
Okay, but all of that is beside the point right now, because unless we have some definitive information that RFBs are being withdrawn once again, I have no reason to assume that this is not going to be resolved. It was resolved the last time. MUTCD and FHWA, they worked it out with there were copyright issues.
Yeah, and once it gets resolved again, I'm sure there'll be have to some kind of study to find out what can or can't be done. I know the city itself is working on like a downtown plan they're talking about with 19 and 44. What happens with all that, Harry? I don't know. There's so many caveats with that whole area going on right now. It's difficult to do anything in that area until whatever the city plans to do is underway or doesn't do.
Okay, but last month, the city came to the CTST and requested an RFB. So I have to assume that that is consistent with the long-term vision that the city has for that area.
Well, but as you just heard, though, they can't go in until a lot of modifications are done, and those modifications aren't done. One of which is changing the route, changing traffic volume, changing speed limits. All that has to occur before you can put RFDs in.
No, this report was released last fall by FDOT. This report consistently recommends RFDs in situations that comply with the graphic that is on the screen right now.
But I think Mike mentioned that the speed limit was 45. I think.
And even if the speed limit is 45, as you can see from the graphic that's on the screen right now, our RFD package is still the recommended treatment.
Yeah, I'll I don't know what's going to come out of the whole thing with RFDs, Harry. I don't know that it's going to move forward as you're proposing. Again, I think it just has to be left with the DOT and the city to figure out what's going to happen in that corridor.
Okay, but okay. So here we have another situation where somebody has come to the CTST for help. I have presented information that is factual, and anybody can pull up these reports. I have copies of them. Well, I have a copy of the original sprinkle report, which is not available anymore, but the other sprinkle report is available. So anybody can look up the references from the latest study, which references the sprinkle report. And again, this latest study, that's less than 6 months old, FDOT is recommending an RRFB treatment package at this particular crossing based on the criteria. So for the CTST to simply say, to anybody that's asking, well, just go blow smoke, to me, it is an improper way to address this.
Harry, nobody made that comment, Harry. So I take objection to your comment. Nobody said that. What was said is that it's being looked at holistically with the city and their downtown concept. That's all I said. So please don't try to paraphrase what I said that way. That's inappropriate, and I don't appreciate that.
And I do not appreciate what's going on here, because the city was told that they're going to try to reduce speeds, but I did not hear from anybody a plan to reduce speeds there. Reducing speeds will still not make that a safe crossing for trail users. At 35 miles an hour.
No one's arguing with that. That's why it needs to be looked at holistically.
And who is looking at this holistically? I have presented something from FDOT's own publications, and you are saying this is not acceptable?
No, what I'm saying is the city is looking at it. They're looking at a holistically for 19 and 44. It's part of the whole city downtown proposal. So the city is.
Why would the city have come to the CTST last month requesting RFVs?
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
I can answer that, Walt.
Oh, okay, Jim.
Kevin is a new member of our BPAC. And we talked about the RFBs at Eden Drive and 48. I think he got the idea that that may be a good situation over there to cross town. That's basically the bottom line.
Okay. And is he aware of what the city is planning to do in that corridor, or looking to do, or working on studying that area? Is he aware of any of that?
I don't know for sure what his situation is about that.
Yeah. So he may have not known the details of what's happening on a bigger picture. I don't know either.
Yeah, that's just something he just happened to think he should bring up here at CTST and throw it out there and see what happens.
Right. Again, but if he's not aware of that there's a bigger thing being evaluated, had he known that, he probably would have just let it roll and let it work into the natural course of the project.
That's right.
My assumption. So I think that's where that is at.
Okay, so can somebody summarize for me what the CTST's response is to my request that the recommendations from FDOT's own study is to install a RFB package here? What is the CTST response to this, to my request?
The response is that the city is looking at doing a downtown concept on 1944.
Okay, and that's the full. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Very good. Moving on. Any other new items?
Well, I would like to say that our extension tunnel from the Withlacoochee State Trail to Dunellen Trail is not officially open, but it's being used.
Yeah, actually, Jim,
and it rides really nice.
Oh, that's great to hear. I talked to a Clio this morning, and it sounds like the DOT actually wants to do some type of a ribbon cutting. I know you and I kind of emailed about that. I sent it to Clio, and I don't know if she emailed you back, but she called me this morning to get in touch with our PIO. So I put those two people together, put Clio and Veronica together to help foster the ribbon cutting.
Okay. Yeah, I talked with Mickey Thomason as well. So,
oh, good.
Yeah. That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Jim, I hadn't been after to see the finished project yet. How did that area on the east side with the slopes down to the tunnel, how did that all come out? That was a big thing during construction.
Yes, that was. They kind of followed the guidelines I talked about.
Okay.
And there's a nice slope up through the side, goes up along the side of the trail and right up to the other trail.
Okay, so
it's actually more minimal climb than the other side is.
Oh, okay. But otherwise, it rode okay?
Yes, oh yeah, very good.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Another win and success for DOT. Good project.
Absolutely. It's really nice out there.
And I don't know if you're aware, but
our Withlacoochee CSO is trying to get it named as the Stephen Diaz Tunnel or something along those lines.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Because he was very instrumental in helping us get that done.
And we just had that segment added to a much larger regional section of trail. That was a proclamation that was brought before our board at the last board meeting.
Walt, I didn't understand all that.
There was another bike group, a national bike group that wanted that section of the Withlacoochee Dunellen connector. They wanted that portion incorporated into their trail network, which stretches all the way up, I think, to North Carolina. And they're trying to put pieces together. So that section of trail has now become part of that overall trail as well. And
it's going to be part of the Heart of Florida Loop that'll run over to DeLand area and St. John's Trail, the River Trail over in Jacksonville area. And
well, this piece I'm talking about actually stretches up to like the Carolinas, and they're trying to get it up to New York, upstate New York.
Okay, right. I understand that one.
Yeah. Well, very good. So we'll stand by and wait for the ribbon cutting then.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Very good. All right. Anything else for the good of the group? And new business?
Well, it's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, well, I'll give you your fatality reports.
Okay.
2022 is not looking good.
Yeah, I'm aware. I saw the email.
Yeah.
Those reports, unfortunately, I can't get into Signal 4.
And Michelle, when I get done giving you here, Michelle Snow's online, and she's got some updates that I heard earlier at another CTST meeting.
Maybe she can give me access before 30 days so I can actually see what the causes of these things are. I don't know.
If you need help with it, I can get you more detailed reports. But anyway, Citrus County, we're up to 3 already for total fatalities. 2 of them were pedestrians, and 1 was a bicycle.
Wow.
In Hernando, including the one yesterday, they're now up to 3.
Do we know if any alcohol was involved in it, Mike? Because I know it was right around New Year.
I don't know with the pedestrians. That seems peculiar. I know one was there by the fairgrounds and the other one was over on Cardinal. I know they're kind of dark areas, but I don't understand why pedestrians were out on the road out there, especially on 41 Fairgrounds. You got that nice white sidewalk down there.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, so in Hernando County, they had 1 motorcycle fatality and then 2 yesterday morning. You know, a young lady and her baby got in a fatality yesterday on US 19 in Spring Hill. So,
oh boy,
we're not good for West Central Florida. I mean, it's already starting off with a bad year.
Do you have any idea what the cause behind those were, Mike?
No, the one on US 19 down in Hernando County, a follow-up report came from FHP that the driver was a wanted person, and we don't understand why he was driving wrong way on the, you know, it was a wrong way driver on US 19 in the middle of the day.
Oh boy.
It's congested. As congested as US 19 is down there in Spring Hill.
Yeah.
We don't know why, because he was running from somebody, but he was a wanted felon. He had a gun and all this stuff. So now he's not just being charged with vehicular manslaughter. You know, he's a convicted felon. So
right.
He'll be at county hotel for a little while.
Wow. What a shame.
But that's all I got for the now. Now Michelle's online, and I just see she putting in.
Yes, can you hear me?
Box.
Yes, Michelle.
Yeah, good.
Yes, so this started really Monday afternoon, and it's been incremental with login issues. So we are working on putting something onto the site right now, and both the database guy and our IT guy are looking at it now. So it's very frustrating for a lot of people. I have received many messages via phone and email.
Actually, Michelle, the issue is not so much that. I've never had trouble getting in, but whenever we have fatalities, my setup is that I got to wait 30 days before I can see what the report is. So I can never see what the extenuating circumstances or what the causality of it was.
Can you?
When I bring it up, all it tells me is, you know, fatality, got to wait the X number of days.
Can you send me an email on that?
Absolutely, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
This is Sherry Cook. I've actually was waiting for that pedestrian fatality on 19 from 12/9, and it finally got loaded on 1/9 into the system because I could finally see it, and it said it was uploaded on 1/9.
Well, not a great way to start off the year. I'll just say that. All right, since we kind of morphed over to item 7, open forum and announcements, do we have any other announcements we haven't covered? Okay, hearing none, then I'll go ahead and announce our next meeting, which is on February 9th, 2022. It is virtual, 1:30 in the afternoon. And at that point, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. And thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in February.